Salukuyan po nagpapapress conference ang pamunuan ng ospital ng Makati kung saan nakakonfine ang itinuturong utak ng pork barrel scam na si Napoles. Dito siya ooperahan para matanggal ang bukol sa kanyang uterus o matris.
Pinayagan na ng pamunuan ng ospital na operahan si Napoles na napili niyang mga pribadong doktor mula sa St. Luke's Global City. Patapos din paboran ng korte kahapon. Panoorin po natin ang bahagi nito.
Serohano po ng Makati Medical Center or all doctors affiliated with the foundation. They do surgery here. They are afforded limited privileges to practice. But as a policy, we do not. But because of special circumstances, we may.
Did she specify bakit po she would feel more confident with having her own doctor's appointment?
I think any patient will have one major reason. They want to trust the doctor doing the procedure or carrying out the treatment. Gusto niya gamay yung doktor niya.
These have been the doctors that were checking on her.
That's right.
That is our presumption, yes.
Sa lagay po na mataas yung kanyang blood sugar, paano po natin ito tinitest?
We are treating her appropriately, medically.
Such a way na with regards to her diet, with drugs,
Yes.
or...
Her diet is being managed, as well as there are drugs which are being given, medicines which are being given to her, and she's being managed by our endocrinologist.
Really specific, ano po ba talaga yung ailment niya?
We cannot.
Although is it confirmed na meron po talaga siyang cyst in her uterus?
We are not at liberty to say that yet.
Pero since nung pumunta po ba siya dito, meron po ba siyang kinikita o nirereklamo ng sakit?
At that time, wala nung pumunta siya dito. As we said before, any procedure that Mrs. Napoles would require is something elective. Now, since they were able to get a court order allowing her to have her procedures and treatment done here in the hospital of Makati, they decided to bring her here on a Monday. That wasn't a medical decision anymore nung dinala siya dito nung Monday. It was something that was decided maybe by their lawyers, the PNP, and Mrs. Napoles herself.
So other than Dr. Villanueva, wala na pong ibang...
There will be other consultants involved from the hospital Makati. It will be a team. Once we finalize the list, we can make the announcements later on.
When you say in stable condition, what do you mean by this? Wala na po siyang ibang sakit?
As of this moment, wala naman siyang kinocomplain. So, and her vital signs are stable. So,
Makinig po yung compose ng
for now, we have already identified at least probably around 5, but we are not yet sure. We will probably give you the list once we have completed the list already of our team.
Yung mga kasama po dun sa ano pong mga specialty nila?
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
All right. We have a cardio on the team. We have an endo. We have an anesthesiologist. We probably will have a gynae-onco on the team as well.
And a pathologist.
And a pathologist.
Sir, meron po mga bumisita kay Napoles aside dun sa husband niya?
Hindi namin alam. Security and as to who are allowed to visit Napoles is not controlled by the hospital. It's controlled by the PNP. I think they adopted a system whereby only those in the list can visit Mrs. Napoles. But this must also be reconciled with hospital policy. We can only accommodate 2 at a time and during regular hospital visitation hours.
Which is, I think those are yung regular.
Which is 10 to 12 and 3 to 6. Nahuli niyo ako doon
Sir, hindi po mag-incur ng extra charges yung private doctor sa having the facilities?
What do you mean charges? On the hospital? On Mrs.
Hospital of Mrs. Napoles?
It will incur additional charges on Mrs. Napoles.
Because these are private physicians.
And she requested for the private doctors. We mentioned that before, but of course, maraming variables na kino-consider. Like, let's say, if we need to manage and evaluate her further before the operation, depende sa findings during the operation, at saka depende yan so magiging how fast she will recover after the operation. But if you were to put a timeline, walang mga, I use comorbidities in court, pero walang mga dating sakit, walang mga complication, we gave a timeline more or less of 26. That's a moving target. Pero maraming variables na kailangan i-consider. So we gave a moving target of 26 days. Pero that is for a patient who does not have other problems, for a patient who will not encounter complications, a patient who recovers and be able to ambulate very early after surgery.
Na-identify na ba yung mga treatments or procedures na...
Not yet. That will be discussed in our meeting with the doctors.
Sir, pag nag-meeting po kayo with the personal doctors of Mrs. Napoles, ano pong i-discuss natin?
The conditions governing their limited privilege to practice medicine in the hospital of Makati, as well as hospital policies, at saka yung mga requirements namin as far as the Napoles case is concerned. Kasi medyo special, there are special circumstances surrounding Mrs. Napoles.
When you say limited, which outcomes?
They are only allowed to treat, handle, manage Mrs. Napoles, no other patient.
Kailan po kayo ulit mag-apply?
We told the others that as much as possible, we will have medical bulletins in the morning. But of course, it may not be every morning kasi kung minsan, there's nothing to report eh.
So, clarify ko lang. So, bale, meron pang dalawang unnamed doctors, anesthesiologist and pulmonologist. So, sabihin, 7 in total. Yung nasa team na from her personal doctor.
Mayat, may I have the court order? Ilan ba?
Hindi ko na bilang eh. Second.
You're right. I'm sure you have a copy of the court order. It's 7.
So, 7 din po yung...
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We don't have to match it number per number or specialty per specialty. Kung anong tingin namin kailangan ni Mrs. Napoles, they will be part of our medical team.
Kailan niyo po sila inimbita na...
Since Friday. Kahit wala pang court order, we want to have some coordination para mabilis sana yung treatment.
So, in-expect niyo na po na the court will rule in favor of allowing the doctor?
Yes. Maraming prinsipyo kasi na sinusunod dyan. The right of the patient to choose the doctor, the right of the hospital to refuse a patient. All of this, we can argue because of the special situation ni Mrs. Napoles.
Ano na po reason na sir kung bakit hindi sila nakapag-meeting? Anong Friday niyo po?
At yan po ang bahagi ng press conference ng Ospital ng Makati sa pangunguna po ng kanilang medical director na si Dr. Ishmael Peralta. Mula nang ma-admit si Ginang Janet Napoles noong Lunes ng gabi sa Ospital ng Makati, sumailalim na po siya sa iba't ibang mga diagnostic test para sa kanyang isasagawang operasyon. Ang medical condition po ng pasyente, si Mrs. Napoles po, ay minamanage ng Ospital ng Makati, partikular po ngayon ng kanyang endocrinologist mula sa ospital. Sa ngayon ay stable po ang kanyang kondisyon. Wala naman siyang inirereklamo na anumang mga sakit. Siniguro ng ospital na susundin nila ang utos ng korte pero makikipag-coordinate sa medical team of choice. Bukod sa 7 miyembro ng medical team of choice ni Mrs. Napoles, may mga doktor din po mula sa ospital ng Makati ang kasali. 5 miyembro po ang tinukoy, isang cardiologist, endocrinologist, anesthesiologist, gynecologist at pathologist. Ang security po at mga bisita ay hindi kontrolado ng ospital pero dapat daw ay sang-ayon sa patakaran ng ospital ng Makati. Ibig sabihin, 2 at a time lamang po ang tatanggaping bisita at dapat ay pasok sa kanilang regular visiting hours na 10 a.m. to 12 noon at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Sa ngayon po, inaasahang aabutin ng 26 na araw ang confinement period ni Mrs. Napoles kung hindi magkakaroon ng anumang komplikasyon sa kanyang operasyon.